Hello, good people of the internet. Sterling R. Jackson. I don't know too much about Billie Eilish, and I haven't listened to too much of her music. I remember when I think she started getting big with the song Bad Guy, and then I had shared that with some people, and they're like, this is stupid. And then, like, weeks later, they're like, I kind of think that this is the best thing ever. Um, but yeah, really talented, and I liked a lot of the stuff I've heard. I was never quite sure how it would translate live because of her singing so quietly, but obviously huge following and people totally dig it. This was posted an hour ago. I'm not typically up on these things, but I saw it on the YouTubes, didn't watch it yet, and I thought maybe I would watch it and we could share in the experience together. I am a professional musician and vocal coach. I will try to talk about her vocal approach a little bit. There may or may not be that many things to break down. And just so you know, when we're doing these reaction video type of things, we tend to pause and stop a lot, people that are doing this stuff, because of copyright issues. So I'm trying to give commentary and break it down, and this is about my channel, not about, just watching a whole thing and being like, yeah, that was good. So if you're somebody that jumps in immediately and is like, it'd be better if you didn't stop every 10 seconds, it's because I'm giving advice, feedback, and commentary, and it helps with the copyright thing because copyright stuff sucks when you sit here and put all this time into creating a video and stuff, and then it was like YouTube's like, nope, can't post that shit. So anyway, this is the greatest. I have no idea what that is. Live from Apple's Music Artist of the Year. Don't know what the hell that is, because do people know this stuff anymore? Here we go.
Thanks. So this is my brother Phineas.
And I know that dude writes, his ass off and can sing really well and stuff too. I've heard a little bit of that, but again, never went down the rabbit hole. My heart lies a little bit more, I guess what you would say, with older music, rock music, things of that nature. But still, when I heard it, I was pleasantly surprised, and it's cool. A lot of their vibes are really cool.
And since the beginning, we've written and recorded everything together, and he produces everything, and that's just how it has always been, and it's amazing. And yeah, my best friend in the world, love you so much. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Okay, next. Yeah?
Her voice sounds a little bit screwed up, as in almost like she went really hard or something, and now, I don't know, anybody else picking up on that? Sounds a little tiny bit hoarse, or like she has a cold.
This song's called The Greatest.
Her jacket looks like she beat the shit out of a Boy Scout and said, give me that jacket. And now she's got all of the different patches and badges that the kid was trying to collect. This is my pine cone badge. I got it for collecting pine cones. And yes, I'm aware that badges don't look like that. Everybody shut up. Did you hear those little tests? She was testing out her voice just to see kind of what's going on and what's happening. I don't know if they've been sitting here singing for a while. I don't know if this is the first song. I do love how calm and collect she is on stage and stuff, considering how young she is and how much she's done this, everything like that. But yeah, I heard a thing of Pavarotti. A student of mine shared with me recently about Pavarotti, what to do on the day of a show, and he was talking about how he warms up his voice and how he checks in. And it's funny, the further you get down the rabbit hole with singing and stuff, I like to imagine, especially as a male, because men tend to want to dominate their voice and dominate everything and put that masculine energy into things, and your vocal cords are, like this big. So it's not usually the best to be like, I'm just going to get through it. I'm going to drink and fucking do a shot of whiskey and run on stage. Not usually the best. So it's better to almost imagine, as I've gotten older here, to imagine your voice as a child, and you're going to try to treat it with what it needs and take care of it and listen to what it needs and approach it with that kind of calm, collected, parental energy. instead of just being like, do what I want, you bitch. That's just not good for the voice, especially if you've had health issues and stuff where you've not had your voice work well for you, which I've had many years now. So yeah, it's cool to hear some. You could hear it doing in the background and making some of these noises.
Trying my best to keep you satisfied.
Whew, that's already really terrific, isn't it? It harkens back to the 40s and 50s and a little bit of that type of singing, even though it doesn't quite have the same lift in the back that they would have. I. And women, you would have a little bit of that smile all the time. It's Christmas time in the city. Everybody wanted to smile for the radio. And this doesn't have that, which is great. But it still has that wonderfully warm and sensitive quality that kind of reels you in.
And let you get your while I stayed up all night. And you don't wanna know how alone I've been.
Ooh, great change there. And then the harmony is so quiet, but so just sitting there with her, and it's terrific. I will say that as a singing coach and stuff, she's using her jaw for a lot of these things, but she's singing so quietly and so kind of in this pocket that it sounds terrific, and it doesn't enter into the problem of an issue, like a problem. So you, yeah, la, da, 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 da. You should see the muscles in my neck lighting up, 'cause I'm using this shit down here. As you go higher and stuff without using falsetto, then it doesn't matter. But then we have to open vertically, and we got to get out of the jaw. And typically, we would train without using the jaw, but see if you can hear that. I know that I can hear everything because of doing this stuff for so long. But yeah, see if you can tell that that's in my jaw. Still sounds terrific, right?
Let you come and go. Whatever state I'm in.
Let me say too, who the fuck can make music like this anymore and have people listen to it or care? It's kind of like sometimes artists have to do very current, unique, whatever stuff to break through, rap and whatever, to break through the algorithms and all these things. And then if they get enough big enough fan base, they can do stuff like this, because typically shit like this isn't going to break through. Like, people are so beaten down by the digital, social, dopamine dump of everything they're doing, they don't spend time to actually sit and listen to something that's beautiful and classical in the sense like this. But yeah, then when you actually do sit down to appreciate it and shut your fucfucking brain up and stop looking at your phone, you hear how wonderful songs like this are, where they can just be a piano type ballad with vocals, or an acoustic thing like this, where it's really lovely and quiet and about the story and the feeling, and not just like beating you in the face with like, listen to my song. So really great.
Man, am I the greatest? My congratulations. All my love and patience. All my admiration. And all the times I waited for you to want me naked. I made it all look painless.
I want to check in really quick. My piano needs to be turned on. So she was already kind of getting close to what it sounded like, her vocal bridge there. She was pulling up enough weight here where it started to enter into her actually needing to open back up and start using more of her airy falsetto. Oh, the love and patience. Oh, and then she starts opening up to. But anyway, that's a little bit over my baritone bridge, so it depends on how people are doing this. I wouldn't think that her bridge is down here. It's probably up quite a bit higher, but could be just the way she decides to sing and the way that she's carrying weight up or pulling up. But again, her beautiful way of navigating. I just did a video about Coldplay recently and how Chris Martin would always use falsetto in songs. And it taught me so much about how to do that too, because we would push up to the threshold about the end of chest voice for my male voice and his male voice. And then instead of pushing things higher or knowing how to mix, because that didn't even exist back then, like nobody talked about it. And then you just break into falsetto. So you would just open it up. And that's what we have happening here. It can teach you a lot about your voice, but it can also teach you about your voice in a sensitive or gentle way so that you're not just like, yeah, but I want to be heavy all the time. Well, if you can navigate this, you're still going to learn about parts of your voice, and you're still going to be okay with your voice too. What if, especially again, these things exist much more with males because they want to be balls to the wall most of the time. But what if you had to sing in falsetto for, a half of a song, or you wrote a song that really felt like it should have that kind of sensitive kind of thing? What if you had to do that? Well, if you spend enough time there and you get comfortable with knowing that part of your voice, then you can live there and you can own that space without just feeling completely vulnerable or feeling like it sounds too feminine or whatever. So there's a lot to be learned from these types of things. Her vibrato is always terrific. And being airy like this, and her notes are completely spot on. I don't think I would have notes that were quite mine, or going to be a little bit more Chris Cornellish, where they're sliding a little bit more to the note. But even though she's being breathy, or whatever the fuck. It's not quite as easy to be completely perfectly on pitch when you're using doing what's right. You hear him in the background? So good. Without a reward. Great lyric. I'm doing what's right without a reward. That's something to think about. And we don't have to fight when it's not worth fighting for. And you don't wanna know. And now he dropped an octave and he's doing it down there. Terrific. Normally when I saw pictures of or videos of Billie Eilish, she's got like 18 rings on. And with a quiet performance like this, maybe she dialed it down because you start getting this stuff all over the mic, and that would ruin the performance. Just what I would have done. Anything at all. Worse than I do love this. This makes me sound like an asshole, but I remember about how music and planes and all this different stuff, people would consider these things events, and they would dress up and everything was great. And that, they're probably here at this thing receiving an Artist of the Year, which is probably a pretty big deal. Again, these things aren't as big as they used to be when I was growing up, but still, and it's like, what are you going to wear? I got this like sweatshirt with a bunch of fucking patches on it and shit. That's what you're gonna wear? Yeah, and I was thinking like brown pants. Yeah, you gonna wear like a nice pair of shoes? Nah, just what I got on. These are Nikes, It's funny to think about. I actually like that because I like that it just breaks down, especially for artists and musicians, it breaks down those norms of feeling like you have to adhere to what somebody else would want, and you could just be yourself. But then again, I do get upset now that when anywhere I go, it's just like 18 people shuffling around in slippers and sweatpants that are ill-fitting and have stains on them. I do miss a little bit of the days of when people used to, put some fucking effort into it, nice hats and nice, just all that kind of stuff. I do miss some of that.
My congratulations, all my love and patience, all my admiration, and all the times I waited for you to want me naked. I made it all look painless. Mad am I the greatest?
Interesting lyrics as I'm listening to them, because it's, it's trying to pick yourself back up after dealing with somebody that's obviously not worth your time or that whatever, and trying to say that, the greatest thing is all kind of the turning back around and trying to lift you. I already said the thing I was trying to say, but interesting. I can only imagine being the age she was and is now and being one of the most popular people on the planet, and what kind of stuff these people have to write about, considering their lives are vastly different than the rest of us, but they still have interpersonal problems and relationships and struggles and things that people can relate to, which is kind of amazing considering their lives are so completely different, Switch to major there.
I loved you, and I still do. I just wanted passion from you, just wanted what I gave you, and I waited and waited.
I like the rise right there.
Am I the greatest?
And her voice is even great away from the mic like that. It's funny how they've perpetuated this whole thing with her voice being as quiet as possible. And even right there, she's like got the mic sitting in her lap, and you're like, oh, that sounds great.
Man, am I the greatest?
She sounds so terrific when she's using almost no air. Man, am I the greatest? That's just why I brought up before, like, how does this stuff translate live? But I've seen some of her live stuff, and it's great, and she really tries to put a lot of energy into it. But if you're a little bit out of breath from moving around, and then you're trying to go, man, am I the greatest? It's like, how's that going to work? Anyway, man, that was really great. Touching.
God, I hate it. All my love and patience, unappreciated. And you said your heart was jaded, like you couldn't even break it. I shouldn't have to say it. It could have been the greatest.
Oh, that was good, man. I guess they would have done a sound check to know that her mic was going to pick up her voice enough when she was sitting it like this in her lap, because typically I wouldn't trust that shit at all. I'm not as seasoned as this, professional individual. But, yeah, to know that the proximity effect would last enough where she would still be able to be picked up and everything by sitting the mic down there, that's weird. It's really great, man. I'll probably post this, and then there'll be a copyright issue, and then I won't be able to post it. But hey, I hope you enjoyed sharing this experience with me. Like and subscribe if you did. I'm going to be doing more of these things and always teaching vocals as much as I can. I post lesson videos exclusively on Patreon now for all those lovely folks that are supporting me, and teaching lessons every week to people all over the world. So if you want to book a lesson, learn some more about your voice, sterlingrjackson.com. I'll see you soon.